evil blanket fish has awoken.
Looks like everything's coming in. I feel very tired today, but let's see if we can ride our way through this. I think last time when we left off, they had just basically I think he was a count. I'm forgetting exactly what his name was. But the prince's uncle had basically framed him for killing the king. So now the prince and his knight, you know, the Order of the Silver Eagle, I think they're like his personal knights. It's never really been particularly said. But yeah, they're basically all in the run now. Although it doesn't look like the prince is actually going to be joining us. Because we have all of our... I think there's only room for like 10 characters, and we already have them all. So I don't think the prince is actually going to be joining us as a, usable. Ooh. I have no idea what this does. This pray for target's good fortune, but I have no idea what it actually does. I'm trying to remember if they had that spell in the first game, and maybe it was worded differently than what it is now. Can't remember. Seems like a bad trade-off, a little bit of damage for all that, everything else going on. The hell? Why can't I whip it on it? Oh, because I don't have the money. I need to buy all of them with that. Let's go ahead and do this. If for nothing else than for more money. I guess I'll take Zeus. Like, Colette is going to level up you know, regardless. She's got high damage and crazy movement. kind of hoping that'd be enough to level him so I wouldn't have to heal him. It's a lot of poison. I've had 2 misses in a row, and it's supposed to be 75% chance. Man, they really do not like my pirate. I feel like maybe for her I should just start saving up for long range. Hey Nami, how you doing? Nah, just go to the story about it. If we can't complete it, then I'll do another free battle. Oh, it's Beatrice. Yo, Beatrice is back. Oh, the Order of the Silver Eagle is with her, too. What is it, Beatrice? That person is... What? His Highness? Sorry for startling you, Chief. That the prince would be in a tiny village like this. We might cause you, no, this village trouble, though. Allow me to explain what's going on. Cause the village trouble? It seems as though this is a grave matter. Quite right. Truth is, the king was murdered. What? His Highness has also been falsely accused of that crime. We're currently fleeing from the castle soldiers. We'd like for this village to provide us with shelter. But that's... I have no proof besides my words, but I hope that you will believe me, Chief. Chief. I understand. I trust your words, Clark. We aren't quite capable of providing a lavish welcome for the prince, but we will do what we can. Thank you, Chief. We'll be in your care. Think nothing of it. It's an honor to be able to shelter you. Let me show you to your room. Morning, Your Highness. How did you sleep? Oddly enough, I slept quite well despite being a wanted man. Must be because you're exhausted, Your Highness. Excuse me. What is it, Kenneth? Something's not right outside. Not right? The villagers are nowhere to be found. The chief has disappeared as well. What the... Find anything? Not a single villager. I didn't find anyone either. What about you guys? All the houses were empty. Yep, same for the ones I checked. What's going on? Chief. Where were you? Where is everyone? Uncle Zevran. Who would have thought it'd be this easy to find you? Looks like my expectations were a bit off. I thought it'd take a little while longer to find you all. Chief, you sold us out? Why would you do that? Forgive me, I had no choice. I couldn't expose our village and our villagers to danger. You made the right decision, Chief. Please, let me offer you a reward. Please accept it. And dead. Uncle, what are you? Would have been a hassle for him to know. Not only did you murder the king and flee, but you attacked this village and slaughtered its villagers, beginning with the chief. Finally, you died in battle once the soldiers arrived here. This is your fate. You will die and be known as an atrocious fiend. What are you saying? I warned you before this happened to keep your sword with you at all times. Otherwise, it could be stolen and misused. Did you? I was who ordered for the king's murder, as well as the failed assassination attempt made against you. You were who manipulated the Viscount. Do you not believe me? How about this, then? You're the person who slayed King Salud and Viscount Gilgit. Why, Uncle? Why would you do that to us? Do you want to know the reason? I couldn't stand the fact that my brother was on the throne. A man such as him who lacks ambition is only good for his seriousness. Just because I, someone with aspirations and power, was born just a few years later means I can't ascend the throne. Don't you think there's something wrong with that? Even if my brother did die, I still wouldn't have the right to the throne. So long as you, Laz, the prince, continue to exist. You did all this simply because you wanted the throne? Pointed your blade at your own brother and nephew for your own personal interests. That's nonsense. Personal interests. I did all of this for our country. You must know that a territorial battle still rages on in the mainland. The country could be subjected to the flames of war at any time. It suggested that we search for God's arsenal to my brother. Fortunately, he didn't understand why such power was necessary. Couldn't leave such an important matter to my naive brother. That's why I had to ascend to the throne. There's no need for me to get my hands dirty. Rosen, I expect you to deal with them. Yes. We're not through here just yet. Sir Zevran is finished speaking with you. You are all finished as well. Technically, we only have to defeat him. He's level 33.
Hi, everybody!
Hey, Ragnar, how you doing? course the RNG gives them the kill. Are you fucking kidding me? Where the hell do I get that skill from? Probably not, because it's probably going to be a while before I pick up Tactics over. I mean, I could emulate the PSP version, but I don't know that I see a point in playing it twice. So I'd rather just play the new version, but I'll have to pick that up first. I think it can be. I think it's actually like the systems and mechanics in it are actually a little more in-depth than they were in Final Fantasy Tactics. I think Final Fantasy Tactics was watered down just a little bit. I mean, even though I think it is a little more complicated than Final Fantasy Tactics, I'm sure it probably would seem simple compared to a lot of the Sting games like Yggdra Union and Gungnir and Knights of the Nightmare, which I didn't even attempt. It was so damn complicated. Which is also still making me very, kind of looking forward to that new Fairy Fencer F game that's coming out. I still don't have 100% confirmation if it's a remake of the game or if it's a sequel. I think most of the sources I've heard are leaning towards it being a sequel, but I mean, it's going to be another Sting tactical game, which means it's probably going to be nuts. So that's actually kind of making me interested in it. So when that comes out, but whenever I do pick that up, I'll probably play Fairy Fencer F and then go into that. Assuming it is a sequel. If not, I'll just play that. Yeah, I wouldn't have looked at it either before, but like I said, and I still haven't played any other of their games to really give it much thought, but Mary Skelter Nightmares really did kind of not really make me look into them more to like, you know, they're definitely not a company that can be like, ooh, they're coming out with a new game, but I'm actually willing to give their games a chance now. Hey, Paulin, how you doing? And from what I understand, Fairy Fencer F, from the people I've heard, from what I understand, Fairy Fencer F is basically the point when their game started getting better. 1. I have 2 and 3, but I've only played 1 so far. Yeah, I have Mary Skelter 2 and 3, I have both Dead End Requests, I have Dragonstar Varnir, and Fairy Fencer F, which is essentially all the games that people have said from them that's the point when they started getting better. So, I do need to play more of them to give that company more of a chance, but yeah, it's just... I got a lot of things to play, so... I mean, technically, I don't have to play the first one again. I know what you mean about how there's some stuff in there that ties into it. Like, I've heard about that. But technically, I don't have to play the game again because I bought the collector's edition for Finale, and that came with little, like, hardcover novels of the stories from each game. So I can essentially just sit down and read the book for the first game before I play the second. Well, it's the difference between like an hour and a half and 30 to 40 hours. Considering I've already played the game, I'll read the book. Like, these are the books. So this is the first one. About 130 pages. So at most, if I'm going really, really slow, this will take me 2 hours to get. Versus replaying a game that I've already played that'll take me 30 to 40 hours. I've already played the game. I'm essentially just in there looking for the extra stuff that they put in there to tie it into the second game. So I can just read this like in my free time when I'm getting ready to play the second game. That's what I'm saying. If I go like super slow, an hour and a half to 2 hours, but it'll definitely be way less than that. I'm giving like the slow, like constantly getting interrupted, you know, taking my time. You know, that's ballpark the longest it could possibly take me to read that. Versus, you know, like I said, playing a 30 to 40 hour game again. Guess we'll see. It may not be the kill shot, but let's see if you can get it. Looks like she'll level even if she doesn't get the kill shot. We'll give it to you. All of them. I got all of them. It was like the last day that I was streaming, and I finished the game in like the first hour and a half or so of the stream, so we just spent the entire rest of the stream basically speed running the final boss, like, and choosing each girl at the end to see all of them. Because I had the time left in the stream. Which I think I had to kill the boss like 5 or... I forget how many girls there were, but I think we had to kill the final boss like 6 to 8 times, something like that. Like literally towards the end of that, I felt like I could have had a speed run for the final boss down. What was with all that big talk? Well, you do. You have nowhere to escape to. Surrender. Not bad, Order of the Silver Eagle. I'll put an end to this next time for sure. He disappeared? Did we lose him? Your Highness, I can't believe that my uncle was behind everything. No time to get depressed over that, Your Highness. Grand Duke Zevran will take over the country at this rate. We need you to rise up now more than ever, Your Highness. You're right, Claude. I'll avenge my father and put an end to my uncle, no, Zevran's tyranny. Yes, Your Highness. Let's do this, Your Highness. I hate to say this, but can we really stand against them with our current crew? There's a difference between courage and recklessness. Indeed, trying to face an entire country's army by ourselves would be reckless. What should we do? Claude, I am thinking of asking my aunt for help. Princess Juliana? Oh, the princess. Wait, you said aunt? Yeah, my aunt is my dad and Zevran's half-sister. She's much younger than them, though. She's more like my older sister than my aunt. She isn't involved in the governing of anything, but many nobles still treat her as the princess. If she will support us, we will have the power to summon aid. Hopefully the princess will believe us. I have no reason to kill my own father. Even if they make me out to be the culprit using circumstantial evidence, anyone should realize the fact that I had no motive. You're right. We should depart soon. If they find out that we got away, they'll take further actions. Now's the time to act. Let's go, sir. Alright, let's go. So there is no new free battle. It's still the same one set at 20. I've got maybe 5 people. I guess I could take my 25s and my 26s in. Let's get them a little bit more before we head out. Alright, I'm saving up for long range. or class change? Why is Merchant such a high-level class? Turn my pirate into a Viking. Turn Milton into a necromancer. It sounds interesting, but so far all of the summoning stuff that the mages get has been kind of crap. Because I went down those paths with Lulu thinking that they might be good, but they kind of suck. Really only give a class to 4 people. I don't know, it's just weird that of all the things, the thief, like one of his high-level classes is merchant. That's right, I haven't really given him any skill points. He was so high level when I got him that he hasn't been participating in any fights, so his skills suck. Nah, this one, enemies don't automatically aggro if they get hit like in other games. It's based upon how close you get to them. That's actually kind of a cheap way to level your mage, like, up ridiculously fast, because you get experience for every enemy that you hit when you use area attacks. So using that one that hits everything on the map, like, you pretty much get almost a guaranteed level every time you use it, at least until, you know, you kill off all the enemies. There are not that many on there. So it's actually kind of a cheap strat to power level your mages. Granted, that's just levels though, and one of the bigger things for your power in this game is your skill points, which you only get skill points if they finish a battle. Dying isn't so bad. Being dead at the end of a fight, very bad, because then they get no skill points. All things that I learned the hard way playing the first game. Like, it's actually pretty lenient with being able to revive people. It's just, you want to make sure that when you actually finish the level, no one's dead. See? And I'm not. Permadeath actually, like, sounds like it really sucks to me. And I think that's almost entirely due to the fact that you've played a lot of Fire Emblem, whereas I haven't played any Fire Emblem. Yeah, and that just, I don't know, that just sounds annoying to me, because that's right up there with, like, crafting having a % chance to fail. You're essentially just, you're basically just telling your players, yeah, save scum. You're gonna have to save scum. That's one of the reasons why I don't play Atelier games. Like, I can tolerate a crafting system in a game, but I don't like them. So, a game that's completely revolved around crafting is not sound like anything I'd have fun with. It would have to do everything else extremely well for me to want to give it a chance. Like right now, my main game for the week is Xenoblade Chronicles, and I'm not a fan of MMO style combat, which it's okay. I wouldn't say I'm having fun with the combat, but it's not horrible. But I'm basically playing for everything else, and on top of that, the game is taking advantage, like harshly taking advantage of my gaming OCD with all the damn side quests. I did with the first games. I played Atelier Iris 1 and 2 when they came out on the PS2. Obviously, though, those weren't the first ones, but they were the first ones that we got in the West. And yeah, it wasn't really for me. it's not even 100% the fact that you fail. That makes crafting worse. I'm not gonna lie, 100%. That makes any crafting system worse. Because, like I said, you're basically just telling your player, save scum. Otherwise, you're just gonna waste, like, save scum, otherwise you're gonna waste, you know, resources and a whole bunch of your time re-getting those resources, if it's even possible. Sometimes there's, like, items that only have a certain amount in the game, and then you try to make something out of them and it fails, and it's, you know, infuriating. But I don't like the fact that you can constantly be gated from making something or even progressing because of like a rare item that just won't drop for you. Which is also something that's been happening to me in Xenoblade, because there's a lot of, like, you know, rebuilding the colony, or you need a certain amount of each of these items, and sometimes if it's like an enemy drop, it just won't drop for you. Like, might not even be a rare drop, you just, like, I've said before that that's the worst type of grinding. If you're grinding for, like, skill points, or if you're grinding for experience points, or anything like that, you know how long it's going to take. You're always making progress. If you're grinding for rare drops, like, if you need 2 rare drops, that could be anywhere from two enemies you have to kill to 200 to 2,000 enemies you have to kill, depending on how rare the drop is and how bad your luck is. And that is the stuff that I hate, because a lot of times I do end up having bad luck. And I hate just constantly, like, over and over again killing stuff and then not seeing the thing I have ever show up. But those are all things that make crafting systems worse. The fundamental thing that I don't like about crafting systems is just the fact that, you know, since I grew up, you know, I guess way earlier in gaming, like, I've always been used to the gameplay loop of, like, you know, you go to dungeon, you go to place, you open chest, you get item. And whenever there's a crafting system introduced, that normal loop goes from open chest, get item, or kill enemy, get item, to open chest, get 1/4 of an item, get 1/8 of an item, get 1/10 of an item. Like, it's hard for me to feel excited getting items when I'm only getting, like, a tiny percentage of what will eventually become an item, instead of just, you know, you killed an enemy, it makes a drop. You open the chest, you get something, and it's like, ooh, I can instantly put this on and see if it's an upgrade or not. And it's just, you know, it's that, I guess, instant, you know, gratification of you have something new, rather than you have one tiny portion of something that could be something new later on down the line. Like, that's probably not a big deal to most people, but I've noticed over all the games that I've played that whenever there's a crafting system and I'm put into that situation where instead of getting an item that I can then, you know, feel good that I got that item, I'm only getting a small percentage of what will later become an item, the excitement just isn't there. Like, it's not the same feeling. chance any of these will go over? They will. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, like, in older games where you would just get items, like, you felt good about it. Like, there was an excitement to it, like, ooh, I'm in the middle of this dungeon and I just found, you know, a way better weapon to put on, or a better piece of armor. You put it on, you see your stats go up, you know, dopamine hits in your brain, everything. Whereas now it's like, okay, I got a fairy's butt plug. Okay, I got a, you know, I got one of the thing that I need 10 of to make when I go back to town. Yeah, that's what I've seen. That there's not a lot of, like, there's not a lot of trash items in Elden Ring from what I've seen. I've looked through the FAQs because I was trying to figure out, kind of trying to, like, you know, what type of build would I like to do if I actually play it. You know, since it is another Souls game. I mean, previous knowledge of the Souls game, you can kind of tell what you would need to make your build and everything. So I did kind of look through it. And that was something that I noticed, that they are very good. Like, almost every item fits into some kind of build somewhere. There's not really too many items that are just throwaway. So it basically just comes down to a more, it's less, you know, these items aren't good, and more like, is this item good for my build? And do I want to keep it around in case I decide to respec later? Yeah, and I might give them a chance. I mean, if for no other reason, they're pretty cheap right now anyway. Like, next time they come up on sale, I might pick up the first one and give it a shot at some point. I mean, like I said, I picked up the first Xenoblade, and I'm giving that a shot now. And that's another thing that I would normally avoid because of the MMO-style combat. So it's not that I'm completely opposed to it, it's just I don't know how much enjoyment I would be getting out of it were I to play it. I'm not, man. Sex sells. That's all there is to it. They made, I mean, it should also be apparent just in the fact that those series work in trilogies. Yet every trilogy before has always, every game has had a new protagonist, and just, you know, the previous protagonist would just kind of show up. Yet once Ryza came around and they made a shit ton of money off of it, because sex sells, suddenly she gets her own trilogy where she's the protagonist. No, but that's what I'm saying. They completely broke their formula because of Rise Up. It was no longer a series of games with different protagonists that were tied together. It was a trilogy, and we don't even know if they're done yet. But so far, it's been a trilogy of the same main character because they made bank. It's not pessimism, that's just the way it goes. I mean, I hate to say it, but despite the fact that I love the game for many other reasons beside that, I mean, Nier Automata got as popular as it did because of 2B's ass. The same way that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 got so popular because of all the blade designs. Like, that's not anything new. Like, sex sells. That has been advertising and marketing 101 for decades. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can definitely like the game once you start playing, but a lot of people gave the game a chance because of the character design. Now, once they got it, like, if it was a bad game, it wouldn't be as critically acclaimed. It would probably still sell pretty well. Not as good as it did, but if you get people to try it because of that, and then it's a good game underneath, then you get way more recommendations, because if all it was eye candy, then people would only recommend it to other people that they know would be drawn in by that. Whereas, if it's that and also a good game, then you can get the people who are drawn to eye candy to give a shot, and then you can also say, oh no, it's more than that. This is also really good for the people who aren't swayed by that. Yeah, but that's because you already... People like us are a vast minority in that we actually care enough to look into games, to different degrees. But people that actually care enough to even know the director's name or look into who's working on it or what they've done before are such a huge minority. I'm talking about the people who would normally only play COD and FIFA and everything else, and yet these people decided to give this game a shot. I'm probably going too far to the edge when I say just COD and FIFA, but way more casual players. Yeah. The people that just played, that don't know anything about the games they're playing, they just play them. Like, they're just gonna see, like, for Atelier Riser, they're just gonna see, oh, it's anime, and it's got a really cute anime girl that's, you know, big ass and big titties, I'll give that a try, and then, oh, this is actually a fun game. Or, you know, since, like, we brought up Nier Automata, since I brought that one up, that one probably wouldn't appeal too much to anime. It's kind of in the middle, in that it has an anime over-the-topness, but the actual art style was more realism, at least until it got turned into an anime. But that one would probably go more towards action gamers, like, you know, the Uncharted people would give that a try. But I'm not necessarily saying there's anything wrong with it, but to say that the character designs of having a very sexy girl, or in the case of like Xenoblade 2, many sexy girls up front and center in your marketing and ads, like, that is done intentionally to draw more casual players to get your game, and it's the casual players being drawn to the game that makes the sales numbers go up as high as they do. Because we've had that conversation before, where the hardest part of a new game series is getting people to know your game exists. Like, getting it stuck in their heads so that they remember your series. Like, once people remember your series, getting sales gets, exponentially easier. I honestly never paid too much attention to so I can't remember which one Pyra is. Okay, Nami, there you go. You played it because you were already familiar with the series. What was sales numbers for Xenoblade Chronicles X? $6.43 million. Right, how is that right? Was that for the whole series? Oh yeah, that's for the whole series. Why did it say that? Oh, here we go. Now we have all of them. The first game was just under $1 million. And then about another half for the 3D version on 3DS. Xenoblade Chronicles X sold less than the first game.